Welcome to Business Prowess with Rafael and Dr. Andrea. Our show will bring you the best insights, ideas, and inspiration from successful entrepreneurs and CEOs in the business world. Don't miss out on the opportunity to learn from the best and stay ahead of the game. Sifu Rafael is the founder of 5 unique shows. He's a fitness professional, solutions expert, executive coach, and head instructor at Max Martial Arts and Fitness in New York. Dr. Andrea Adams Miller is an award-winning international keynote speaker, best-selling author, and CEO of the Red Carpet Connection Publicity, Publishing, and Talent Agency, and CEO of IgniteYourRelationship.com. Known as the Dream Maker, she makes visionaries' dreams come true, bigger than they ever dare to desire.
Dr. Andrea, happy Friday. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm super excited. We are going to have such a fun show, and I'm so glad to see you. I was off for 2 weeks, and I had said I thought it felt like a year.
Yeah.
Every day's better with a little Sifu in it.
Oh, yeah, what a great saying. Thank you. And then I left.
Yeah, and then we were talking about that earlier, and then something happened, and he just left abruptly. It was like the perfect timing.
It happens sometimes. So we are very fortunate that we have Dr. Barrett Matthews joining us. So let's not waste any time and bring him on.
Bring him on.
Dr. Barrett Matthews, happy Friday. How are you doing, my friend?
Happy Friday. I am doing marvelously well and improving, my friend. How are you?
Exceptional. Getting better every day.
There you go. That's the way to do it. All it takes is a little bit.
All it takes is a little bit. So we were talking before the show came on about how different people talk about their lives and their birthdays. And this whole show, we're talking about elevating, self, elevating our businesses, elevating life. And it's interesting to me how people shy away from their age. Not real to me. That whole idea of wisdom is another elevation point for who we are by saying that we've reached these different landmarks of age, which allow us, in my thought, to know more over time. Wondered what your thoughts were on that.
Well, it's funny you say that because I always say being old doesn't make you wise; it just makes you old. Because there are a lot of old fools out there too. So that's why I think that you can be wise at any age, but you have to actually be willing to take in, what is being taught to you and actually be able to implement it in some way, shape, or form. And I don't necessarily think that everyone who's older knows more, because some of them keep repeating the same things over and over again and end up in the same place. I don't know about that, but I do think that if you are one of those people that takes it in as you get older, you can actually be very, very wise.
Yeah, I appreciate you showing the contrasts in that. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I learned that myself as I got older.
Might date myself, but do you guys remember that Paul Masson commercial?
Say
it's coming. It's coming. I can. I
remember the name and the brand, but I just don't remember the commercial. Please.
Right? No wine will be sold before it's time.
Yes. I do remember.
We age our wine so that you get it at the right time. It's the appropriate time. Just like we do. We age ourselves so that we come and shine at the right time. Mm-hmm. And the right time is different for every individual. I sometimes look at a person in their 60s and 70s and they've done nothing with their life. And I know somebody who's maybe 22, 23, and they've done so much already.
Yeah.
It's not based on age, it's based on actions.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I look at someone like Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant, he died at 40, but he had done so many things at such a young age. And it's like, I hate that he's gone, but he didn't leave anything on the table. That's for sure.
Let's consider in business, how do we elevate our potential in a business, whether it's our business or we're working for someone else? let's discuss that for a little bit, because I think that we can shine even if we're helping someone else polish their trophy.
I like that. I like the way you put that.
Well, I'll answer that. So one of the things I often tell people as a publicist is when other people are shining, that is your opportunity to congratulate them, talk about them, share what they're doing in such a sense that it allows you to go with it. So you end up showing up by shining the light on them. So do that. You say, oh my gosh, I'm here with so if you guys are friends with Dr. Barrett right now, get on there and say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see my buddy, Dr. Barrett, talking with Sifu and Dr. Andrea, because now you show up.
I think that's a great way of looking at it. And also it go into it without any jealousy or need to compare. I think when we try to compare ourselves to other people, I mean, the Bible tells us that we all have unique gifts. So if they're unique, then Sifu's gift is not Dr. Andrea's gift. Dr. Andrea's gift is not my gift. I can't compare them because they're different. I mean, it's almost like and I'm going back to the Bible, the story of the talents. When the guy, he gave 1 5 talents, 1 2 talents, one talent. And it was in accordance to their ability to handle it. So if it's in accordance to their ability, they had different abilities, they had different gifts, and we all have them. So if we just embrace what we do, and like you said, Dr. Andrea, embrace what someone else is doing and praise them for it, applaud them for what they're doing, let it be happy to see them shine. Because I think too many of us, we get back and I don't want to see this person shine because it makes me look a certain way. And no, don't worry about that. You shine in what you do. Let them shine in what they do.
We got some nice comments from Nikki Cruz. All three of you shine bright. I'm in the overlap of those lights. That's an excellent way to word that. Excellent way to word that. And, some people might say, oh, well, you're drawing the attention on you, or, some people might think that, but the people who are in business get what you're doing. And we want you to show up because we want all your followers to show up.
Hello.
And that is beneficial for everybody. We're in business to share and to expand and to elevate. We're not in business to go, oh, it's all about me.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. It's never about you. It's about you and yes, there's a part of you that it's about, but it's a part of the reflection of what your message can go around and do. Rosalito said, mic drop. Thank you, Rosalito.
And I guess there's somewhat of a fine line because we all have egos. We all have them, but it doesn't mean your ego has to get in the way of someone else's shine. And that's the thing. A lot of us, we think in order for me to shine, I have to dim someone else. No, you don't. Let's shine together because there's enough light for everybody. Let's shine together. If we push each other up, man, this world would be such a better place if we all did that.
Dr. Barrett, I got to ask you a favor.
Sure.
If you ever see my ego, please punch it in the face. So consider that we learn at a very young age how to behave appropriately or inappropriately when someone wins, when someone else wins. Who's the sore loser? Who's the last one to come in? Who's cheering them on? And that's the same thing in business. One of the things that when I give an accolade to some of my students, I see the other ones, they frown, they get mad, they get upset. I've even had kids like leave. I'm like, where are you going? And so then I go talk to them and I say, hey, do you remember the last time you got an accolade and they clapped for you? Yeah. I said, that's all. I said, we got to be there for everyone. So that don't clap for them now. The next time when you are happy that you got an accolade, no one is going to clap for you.
That's
and all of a sudden, they were 5 years old. And they're like, okay, I go clap now. Do that as adults. We need to do that as adults. When someone else is promoted over you, did you do everything required to get the promotion? Or did you wait for it? Now, if you did everything and that person is only being promoted because of who they know, then guess what? You need to leave and find somewhere else where you get promoted. I had a client of mine, exceptional human being, was at a company. He was being abused. Nobody recognized him. This whole thing. It took him courage to leave this job. But when he left the job, he was given a corner office. He's being put in charge of all these teams because these people valued what he brought. But had he stayed at where he was, he would never receive the accolades he deserved. And now he's at a place where he understands that, wow, I wasted my time there. And my saying to him is, you did not waste your time. You're not ready for the rewards you're receiving today. You were doing your work. You were putting your time in.
I like that.
You know, it's interesting. I'm thinking about that, thinking it took probably him leaving to be in a different place for him emotionally and his mindset. So at the new place, he could stand and be different, because some people will switch a job, but still feel like they were the walking mat and then still be one at the new place. So I think your friend shifted himself so then the other people could treat him differently. Because if we go from one place to another without that shift, then we're destined to have the same thing happen.
And in some ways, the only way you can step into who you are is to get into a different environment. It's like I can't plant an orchid in wet concrete. It's not going to grow. I have to put it in soil that's going to let it grow. And in some places, it may look good to you, but you're in a place that you can't grow. And you, as you said, Sifu, you have to leave there and you have to go to another place. Yes, environment is very crucial when it comes to being able to elevate.
Very lovely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to write down your quotes here a little bit and remember them as
I agree with you though.
By Dr. Andrea. Everybody I know says I wrote it, but she's the expert behind it.
I didn't even remember saying it until I read it just now. So thank you.
It makes me look good. This is what we're talking about. It looks like I wrote it, but she wrote it. This is where she's an exceptional human being, because she does do that perfectly. She makes other people look good. And that's a gift, to be honest. That's a gift that not everybody is willing to allow, because it's like you're taking the spotlight away from you to put it on someone else. Right?
Yeah.
But in reality, what that does is it makes you brighter. It makes you a superstar. It makes more people want to be around you. Yes, Dr. Andrea, you do rock.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. And, it reminds me back in the day. I remember the basketball coach Pat Riley wrote a book called The Winner Within, and he talked about Magic Johnson. And when Magic got to the Lakers, he said what he did was he made sure that everyone else got the ball where they were most comfortable scoring. And he ended up being MVP. The team ended up winning championships because he made everyone else happy in what they were doing. And the same thing applies to no matter what other area you're in. If you do your best to lift other people up and make them comfortable in what they do, you'll still get your love. You'll still get your love, but focus on making other people, happy in what they're doing, and do it genuinely. Do it genuinely without looking for the award, without looking for the recognition, and it will come back to you. I promise you that much.
It's very interesting when you hear someone. Well, I've heard people in a conversation where one person asks the other for them to do them a favor, and the other person says, "Absolutely. What are you going to do for me?" That's no longer a favor, is it? That's an exchange.
That is an exchange, right?
I will admit I sometimes ask for that now because I've been in situations where like there's a natural give and take in the world. And
Mhm.
sometimes in business, you might find yourself in a situation where you're like, man, I'm giving you out the card like a dealer here, and nobody's dealing back here. So there are appropriate situations. So I'd like to give without any expectation.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then there's times where I'm like, "Ah, I think I've been giving a little too much. Maybe I need to be, apparently I need the token like this when I say that."
Well, it's funny. It's funny. And she's gonna make me an offer I can't refuse later. But but I know that, and I've had a situation before where I was giving to, actually it was a couple people. They were working together, and I just kept giving them things, and I wasn't doing it expecting anything. See, what they didn't realize is as I was learning from them, and as I was giving, they were teaching me things. But I remember one of them said to the other one, he said, Barrett's always giving us, doing stuff, but he never asked for anything. And so they started just doing things for me just because they felt, hey, he never asked for anything. But they don't understand. I was getting something the whole time because I was learning, and it wasn't costing me anything to learn from them, but to just give. I wasn't giving them money. I was putting them in situations that helped them grow because I had connections that I could refer to them. And it's one of those things that it made me realize that a lot of my relationships, I focus on how can I add value. And when I do that without expecting anything, things come back to me, and it just seems not to fail me. I just keep trying to add value, right? Putting people in a position where they can do better.
That is the perfect way to elevate your potential, because they recognize something in you.
Mm-hmm.
I think in business, we need to give more than we expect. When it comes to giving, that is the best way to elevate your potential. And Dr. Andrea, you said something very interesting. Sometimes people don't recognize
He's preaching.
that you continually give. And so therefore, what I think at that point, we need to reframe where we're giving and give somewhere else. And what will wind up happening is that the new people who are receiving those gifts will acknowledge you, and the ones that are no longer receiving your gifts will miss you.
I like the way you said that. No, because you didn't say stop giving. You said give somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I like the way you said that, because I would, because Dr. Andrea, I feel you on that because there's sometimes you're like, gosh, I'm giving, and all, because you feel used at some point.
Yeah.
And you want to give, but you don't want to feel like someone is using you at the same time. So it's a dichotomy there. You got to worry about that. But I like what you said, Sifu, is that, because I would think at first I got to stop giving, but no, you're saying just move where you're giving, and I like that a lot.
One of the things I learned
Well,
most.
it's not for. No,
Go
no,
ahead,
go.
Steve. Okay. One of the things I learned most from being in situations where I was overgiving and was that it took me a long time to figure that out. But once I did figure that out and look back, I looked at who that person attracted and the type of people they were using and the people that they used, that it's very clear that, oh, they were also used. And then I started attracting those people into my life as well, or regrouping and going to those people because I knew that I would give back to them. And so they were already, I was like, oh, thank you, Mr. Taker, for helping me see the Mr. and Mrs. Givers out there, because they're the people who really want to be friends with me and business with me, because they want to exchange business. They want good for all. They're in that we society rather than the me society. And so it took a little longer, but it was good learning.
That's good. That's good. I like
Oh,
that.
what a nice compliment. Thank you, Jennifer.
So what I was saying was that, yes, we take our gifts and we give them where they're appreciated. And when those people miss us, they may come back and ask you to give them again, and you go, sure, absolutely, no problem. But there's a price attached now.
Right.
And I had a client of mine who I helped them navigate the waters of how now what they were doing for free for someone who didn't appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Now they charge, and they became a consultant for these people with FD. But when you give and give and give, it does not go unheard.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I have seen is when I give, those people who really are receptive, they appreciate it. But like you said, there's some people that they'll come back to you later, and look for stuff after they've used you, and there's something I don't have to say anything to a lot of them because they don't want to come back because they know that they have been seen for who they are, and they just don't show their face. They don't come back in that light, and it's like they just leave it alone. They'll go find someone else to use, and I find I don't have to do anything, and it makes me feel good because I don't want to have to go at them like that or confront them in any way. So I would rather just you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone, and I'll move on. Because usually what I'll do, and I know you all do the same thing, is because we're talking about this as well. You'll elevate to another group of people. Mm-hmm. You'll go to another group of people to deal with because you know that you cannot live at that level with people that use you. So you'll move to a group of people that appreciate you. And you can still give just as easily up there as you did at a lower level.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. One of the things that I tell my clients is every day you wake up and you can make a choice. Who are you going to be today?
Ooh.
How are you going to impact the world?
Impact
your own world first, right? We have to take care of us first, and then we can help others. So how are you going to make a difference in the world we're currently living? How are you going to make an impact for your family?
Yeah.
For your loved ones, for your colleagues, for your neighbors? Because if we only think of us, and that's a lot of celebrities, and that's why they turn into drugs because they all of a sudden are lonely because nobody wants to be around them anymore. Some of them lost their careers because they were so crazy in love with themselves that they forgot there's other people in this world. We can consider the value we can bring every day. That is what we should bring forth. So every morning you have a chance and a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I going to be today?
That's great. I like that. You reminded me of something, Sifu, when you were talking about the celebrities and how they let that self-encompassing thing just take over them. It reminded me of you remember the movie Devil's Advocate with Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves?
I don't believe I've ever seen it.
Al Pacino played the devil in the movie. And he had this line that he kept repeating. He kept saying, "Vanity is my favorite sin." And you just remind me of that because it's so easy to get people to dig into vanity, and they will do all types of evil because of vanity, and it can destroy them in the end. So,
and that's Devil's Advocate?
Devil's Advocate, yeah. Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves. I think it came out in like the late 80s or early 90s. I think it was not 90s maybe.
Cool. I will watch it.
Yeah, it's one of those. I think Charlize Theron's in it too. But it's one of those things that, if we focus on ego, focus on self, we end up ruining everything that can be right in front of us that can help us to grow, that can help us to live a better life and to help the world, to be honest with you. If we stop focusing on ourselves so much, we will get accolades, we will get credit, we will get money, we will get recognition, but it's something that you can't go out there seeking all the time, because if you go out seeking it, you're just going to destroy yourself. And we've all seen it before. I just hate seeing it from so many people. I just wish they would just realize that serving others is the way to go. And I guess as I say that, it's hard for someone who has served themselves for so long to just flip a switch and say, I'm going to serve other people. I think that's, I've never been that person, but I just imagine that's kind of hard.
Well, it is something that I have noticed is some of the people that I've met who seem to be those takers. I honestly believe, and for some of them, it never even dawned on them, or they think they are giving. So the one taker that I always knew, he would say, well, but I'm giving you this, and the thing that you were given, and the price tag that he would put on the gifts were so absorbent, and you're like, well, first of all, I didn't know about it. Second of all, who's seeing that? Third of all, I didn't ask for that gift. And fourth of all, the value you just put on that, it made it sound like I still owe you.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a gift to me.
Like, that was an expensive gift. I was like, oh, that's overpriced.
Sounds like he just put a price tag on it. Yeah.
When you consider Dr. Barrett, you talked about Keanu Reeves, and there's been so many posts on how he contributes and he gives freely. He'll sit and talk to a homeless person. He'll give money left and right because he understands the value of others. And the minute we can do that, we elevate our own potential. I personally saw a celebrity. I'm not going to name him. He's passed since, but he was a big celebrity, and I was in his presence, and a fan came over and said to him, "Can I have your autograph?" Can I tell you, he laid it into this person, and when he left, I said, "Wow. I no longer see you the way that everyone else in the world sees you. I see you less than, because you just didn't realize that one fan speaks for every fan. Yeah. And the reason you make millions on your movies is because of that one fan. So let's not forget everyone who even cheers you on. Maybe you didn't even hear them, but the minute they come and say thank you, say you're welcome. Yeah. It's little things. I want you guys take a look at this for a quick sec. We're having an incredible event happening today. Take a look.
In a world where words shape destinies and connections forge futures, this November 22nd to the 24th, Speaking Prowess brings you the ultimate hands-on workshop. We have a lineup of some of the most influential communication experts in the industry. These are the voices that will guide you on a journey to enhance your ability to connect, influence, and succeed. Sifu Rafael, Master Instructor and founder of Speaking Prowess, blends communication and leadership to help you reach your full potential. Richard Walsh brings his strategic and tactical expertise to deliver rapid, lasting results for your business. Dr. Oliver T. Reed, the international multi-best-selling author and motivational speaker, known as the Writing Coach, will help you craft your messages with precision. Jose Escobar, a nationally recognized speaker and leader, will guide you in mastering personal development and leadership skills. This is more than just an event. It's a game-changing, skill-building experience. Walk away with communication prowess that transforms your personal and professional life. Speaking Prowess, where communication becomes your superpower. Reserve your seat now.
What an excellent commercial.
That
is really sharp. Good job. They just get better and better.
I was done with a sword, by the way.
Yeah, really, really good. I just was beaming, smiling, saying that looks, it is so good. It is very, very good. And it makes people want to be there. So yay.
Dr. Andrea is going to be here, and she's going to be our surprise. But don't let everybody Don't let the cat out of the bag.
Well, good, because we talked about it, but that's a surprise. So yeah, it's a surprise to me. So I like surprises. That's good.
Let's consider everything we've been talking about, and thank you everybody who's been here with us and making comments, Nikki and Jennifer, and anyone else who has come on or who will see it later on. The reason we do this show, Dr. Andrea and I, is to bring to you people like Dr. Barrett, people who are givers, right? They're not takers, because from what I've seen, we've never really had a taker in the show. And if we ever encounter a taker, we'll have them take themselves somewhere else. So it's incredible and fortunate that we've had such great guests. And Dr. Barrett, you are in the Hall of Fame with us. So thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you both.
Yeah. I want to hear a little bit. All right. So talking about elevation, you've done some really amazing humanitarian work with West Ghana. I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. I used to host and produce an online radio show called Black CEO Morning Show. And we had a gentleman on there named Dr. Clyde Rivers. And he talked about an organization he had founded called I Change Nations, where they promote civility all around the world. Now, he's been recognized, he's been knighted in different countries, so forth and so on. And I got a chance to go to a speakers conference in Detroit back in 2019. And prior to that, I had prayed to God to use me to make an impact in the world. Didn't know how it was going to happen. I just prayed for it. And I get to this conference and all these people were getting these awards and everything. And they said they knew that they were getting awards for them. And then they started announcing they were going to give this leadership award. It was called a Distinguished Leadership Award. I didn't realize at the time that it was like an international award, but they called my name. And I was shocked. Well, like, and someone said, "You didn't tell me you were getting an award." I said, "I didn't know." And so I got it. Well, then they gave me another award there, and I got a chance to talk to Dr. Rivers, since he was the one giving the award out. And he wanted to do a lot of things, to talk about a lot of things. As a matter of fact, we kind of hogged the time, he and I. Then he noticed, I'm not lying, we had 10 minutes, we took 20. But I got a call from him later that said he was coming to the DC area. So I said, "Well, I got to come meet you." So I went to his hotel and we're sitting talking, and he says, "I'd like for you to write a book." And I'm like, "Well, okay, I've written a book before." He said, "I want you to write a book on execution." I said, "Okay." And he said, "But I want you to tie it to more of an international business field as well." I said, "Oh, I can do that." And he said, "If you do that, there may be an honorary doctorate in there for you." And I'm just like, "Yeah, okay." He goes, "You don't know who you're talking to, do you?" I said, I guess not. And so, but I wrote the book. I sent it to him. He said, "I'm going to put it in the hands of some important people, some dignitaries around the world," and so forth. I said, "Okay, wow, great." So then I remember COVID hit. It was April 2020. I'm walking around my block getting some air. My phone dings. It's a picture of this diploma back here. It's an honorary doctorate degree from a university that he is the chancellor of in Africa. I didn't know this. He said, I didn't know who I was talking to. It dings again 2 minutes later, and I was in a certificate that I see back there that he named me a World Civility Ambassador, which is an organization, I Change Nations. So fast forward a little bit, he said he wanted me to do a podcast on civility. I said, "Great." He said, "I'm going to feed you guests." I said, "Great." So we had a call to go over who he wanted me to interview. And he says, "I got some great news." I'm like, "What's that?" He said, "I'm going to be named a king in a region of Ghana, the development king." I said, "Really? I'm going to know a king?" And he says, "Well, that's not it." I said, What else is there?" He says, "I want you to be one of my royal advisors." Wow. So I am now an advisor to a king. And what's interesting is that there's an organization called the African Diasporan Union. They also named him a king, a diasporan king. So he actually it's not just in one region. He can go all over the continent as a king. So I'm one of his advisors. And so we're working on different programs to bring about civility and peace all over. And we're also I'm working on helping with a media program called Media Monarch, where we're going to help get people their own voice in media. So it's not necessarily dictated by propaganda. I always tell people it's too late for the U.S. We've been propagandized all over the place, but
All of it. Yeah.
yeah, we can try other places and maybe help get rid of some of the propaganda and some of the sensationalism in the news that they report.
Except on this show, right? No propaganda.
No, of course not on this show.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
we're good here.
What you say?
I said we're good here. We're good with
Yeah,
we're
here.
good with controversy.
Right, exactly. I studied journalism in college, and I tell people in the U.S. journalism is dead. It's been replaced by sensationalism. So I just want to get away from that. I just can't stand it. It's just like, how can we destroy someone's life every day? And I just don't like seeing that on the news.
It is for sure. It's the world is changing as we know it, but to each one of us to have a voice, and we need to express ourselves in the best possible way. This is why I'm so passionate about communication. By the way, I want to invite everybody today at 12 o'clock. We have the launch party to Speaking Prowess, the show at 12 o'clock time. Same bat channel. Come on down, Dr. Andrea. You're more than welcome. You're already in the loop, so please join us.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, just go into the thing and just log in.
Cool.
And you see the show for later. It's 12 o'clock.
Awesome. Do you want to put the link up for that so people can see?
Yeah, let me grab that and I'll throw it on here for everybody.
And then Dr. Barrett, you and I are both in the media area, so I want to hear more about you being a media boss pro. I like
Sure. Well, quick background. I worked in media, worked in our area, in the DC area. I used to work with Channel 9. I was assistant director there. Then I moved up to New York, where I was working for the network at CBS Sports. Got out of the media for a while, got into the business sector. And then no matter what I did, it kept pulling me back into media somehow. So I started doing different things entrepreneurially with media. Then I said, I need to start being able to help other people, because from the time I started to now, media has evolved greatly to where you can shoot a doggone movie with your phone now. But so but the thing is that we have access that we didn't have access to prior to that. Yeah. It used to be, you know this, Dr. Andrew, where there was a time where if you wanted to get seen, you had to hope that someone found you interesting enough to give you 2 minutes of time. And now you can create your own. You can create your own platform. So what I do in Media Boss Pro is I'd focus on that, helping people to create their own stages. But my primary group is I'm working with the high achieving leaders to basically turn them into industry icons, so that they're the go-to person and we can blow up their presence on media and put them on various platforms, not just one platform, put them on various platforms so that they can be everywhere all at once. Because we've been taught to get a platform and drill down on that and you'll get your people. But I always say that's kind of arrogant to think that if I have a podcast that everyone I serve watches or listens to the podcast. It's not happening. Everybody consumes their information through whatever medium they like. And I just tell people, let's have a presence on various platforms so they can't miss you. And that way you can be seen by all the people instead of just focusing on one. And I always say also, another thing we've been taught that's wrong is find out who your client avatar is and go where they are. I say, no, find who your client avatar is, but make it so they can find you. If they're looking for something, make it so they can find you. McDonald's doesn't come knocking on your door, Sifu, and say, hey, we have some French fries to sell.
I'm hungry right now. I would love that.
But see what they do, Dr. Andrews, they make sure that when you want French fries, you can always find one. And that's the whole thing. Make it so they can find you. So that's what we do at Media Boss Pro. So we deal with different areas of media, as podcasting. It could be writing a book. It could be a documentary about you. It could be social media. It could be streaming TV. So it could be various different platforms, but we want to make sure that you can be seen in different places. So smart. And PR as well.
Very smart. Yeah.
I'm one of those rare creatures that if McDonald's came knocking, I would probably lock the door.
I know you would. That's probably.
I
know
like
you would.
McDonald's. I don't know why I don't own stock, because as a kid I was never allowed to go because my mom cooked wonderful food, but we never went there because that was, if we went out, we were going out for like steak and potatoes. But the first car date I ever went on, he said, "I'll take you wherever you want to go," and I said, "I want to go to McDonald's."
I still have a problem resisting the smell of those fries.
They are good. I don't eat them as much as I used to. We
Neither.
did a hypnosis on somebody else who didn't want to like them, and I was trying not to listen because I'm like, who likes them? But I was at a training at the time. This is before I became a master practitioner and a trainer, and I heard it, and so I have to undo the hypnosis. But I thought,
God.
that's okay. Now I only want them once in a while, and when I do eat them, I'm like, nah. I'm not as, like I used to be.
I stop the burgers, but the fries can get me every now and then.
Yeah, they're
I gotta
still
tell
good.
you, when I was a kid, unlike now, McDonald's was a rare because we literally, I remember me and my friends would have to probably walk about 30 blocks in Queens. I used to live in Jackson Heights, Queens. And we used to walk 30 blocks to go to the McDonald's.
Woo.
And it was a treat. It was not an everyday deal. And when we got, I remember we used to get the shakes, the mint shakes and the French fries. That was amazing. But it stopped becoming amazing when they were every 4 steps away. It was like, there's a McDonald's across the street, there's a McDonald's at the corner, there's a McDonald's in the middle of the
I get it.
And for me, the more I went into the health aspects of my life, the more I realized that is probably the worst thing I can put into my body. Now, don't get me wrong, their French fries are still amazing. That's the elite. I haven't had McDonald's French fries in probably 20 years, but the last I remember, wow.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't eaten the burgers in a long time. But I said the French fries. Sometimes that smell, they just call my name.
It's funny that how you mentioned them, because McDonald's, a lot of times people think, how do they make their money? But it's not on food; it's on the real estate. Their real estate is where they make their money. And when you talk about the locations of where they're at, it's because they're put in prime locations where people are going to be, where it makes it very easy for them. So whatever your thing is,
they make themselves findable, and that's what I always teach people about their media. Make it so people can find you.
Yeah.
Why do you think business realized that McDonald's was brilliant? And if you look at a McDonald's not too far away, you have other fast food chains.
Yep.
Burger King, you have Taco Bell, you have all these different places. I'm not promoting anybody, but I'm just saying that's smart.
Unless they want to be a sponsor.
Follow the leader. Don't say they're bad. Just there's plenty to go around. And the same thing about business. When we think about business, we need to elevate your potential by sometimes acknowledging. That's what we've been talking about. Acknowledge the great ones. You don't have to do exactly what they're doing, but it doesn't hurt to follow their footsteps.
It doesn't hurt. You're right. You're right.
That's another thought too. Like Taco Bell, they just redid ours. So every 10 years, doesn't matter how well the restaurant's doing or not doing, every 10 years, they completely tear down the restaurant and rebuild.
Interesting. I've always said that Taco Bell has the best marketing people in the business because everything there tastes pretty much the same. But I said they have just found they name it different, chalupa, quesadilla, everything. They give it all types of different names for the food. And then what they started doing is now they've run out of names, so they started beefy, cheesy, crunchy. I was like, it doesn't matter. It tastes the same. They just give it all different names. And I said, that's brilliant. And it still works. So they're still going around.
That is true. And that's a cultural thing too. We were just laughing about that a couple months ago.
Really?
I was thinking about, my maiden name's Benavides, and, growing up with, this Hispanic culture background or whatever, I'm thinking everything that we eat everything is rice and refried beans with tomato, lettuce, and guacamole and onion. But it's just whether the taco's flat or whether it's a burrito and it's wrapped. It's all the same thing. It's just how.
Well, I don't know about that. I think the real food I can distinguish the taste, but Taco Bell is just the same thing and just different packaging.
Yeah, even at home. I mean, it's still the same thing. It's just, is it an enchilada because it's baked and it's soaked? Is it because it's fried like a taco? Is it because it's stacked, or is it a burrito? You know, it's cracks me up. But yes, the flavors at home can be a little different. But yeah.
Yes.
We talk about how they change every 10 years. It's very interesting because in my businesses, I change every 2 to 3 years. People walk in, what'd you do now? I'll change, I'll paint, I'll move things around, I'll build something. It helps to have a wood shop so I can build stuff. But for me, it's because I walk into it and I'm like, oh, I'm tired of it. Let's move on. What's next? So for me, it's always evolving.
Yeah.
What do I like? What do people want? And when people come into my establishment or any of my business, they see it clean. And here's one of the things that I've never done. And have you ever been to a restaurant where as soon as you walk in, they give you a broom and a mop and a washcloth?
Can't
But
say
a lot
that.
of sports studios do that with their clients. I know because I've cleaned other people's martial arts schools and they weren't even mine.
Wow.
But I didn't have ever done that with one of my clients. Would never do. They're paying me good money. By the way, our show is come to that point where we have to say thank you so much. Big hearts, lots of love. Dr. Barrett, incredible. Thank you so much for being here with us. Do us a favor. Come back, my friend. Come back.
Anytime. Come on, you got me anytime.
Everybody who made comments and so forth. We're on every Friday, people. Come on down. Let's have some fun. Thank you. I have to run because I have 3 minutes.
Another thing.
You do.
Woo, I'm excited for that one. Join us. Come on down, everybody. If you're watching on Facebook, it's my Facebook again. If you're watching on LinkedIn, it's the same thing. So just hang around, go get a cup of coffee. You won't have time if you go to McDonald's and there's a long line. So stay home, get something good, and watch us. By the way, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Everybody, make it an exceptional rest of your day. Take care.